All right, let's dive into a role that I bet a lot of you know very well, even if you've never put a name to it. It's the role of the family mediator. You know, that invisible full-time job you never actually applied for, but somehow you're on the clock 24/7. Today, we're going to unpack how you got there, why it's so completely draining, and, most importantly, how you can finally reclaim your peace by escaping what we call the generative glue trap.
Does this hit home for you? I mean, really. The phone rings, you glance at the caller ID, and you just know. It's your daughter, and you can practically feel the frustration through the phone before she even says hello. She's upset with her brother, again. Then, an hour later, your son calls, needing to vent about his partner. And you listen, you advise, you soothe. Your home isn't just a home anymore, is it? It's become Grand Central Station for every family feeling, every complaint, every little conflict. This quote just nails it, that exhausted brand of importance. You feel essential, but being essential has turned you into the emotional clearinghouse. You're the one who has to process everyone else's emotional baggage. You're the shuttle diplomat, the crisis manager, the person who has to make sure Thanksgiving doesn't turn into a war zone. And you know what? It is draining the life out of you, one phone call at a time.
You know, for years, you might have told yourself, am I being too controlling? Am I too involved? Am I bossy? But what if I told you that this role you're playing has nothing to do with your personality? What if it's a systemic thing? Well, there's a name for it. It's called the Generative Glue Trap. And it's a trap because it feels like you're doing something vital. You're holding the family together. But it's glue because it keeps everyone, including you, stuck in a really immature dynamic. You didn't fall into this position by accident. The entire family system quietly assigned you this role. Just understanding that it's a pattern, not a personal flaw, is the very first step toward freedom. So how do we get out of this trap? Well, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to break down what the emotional clearinghouse and the generative glue trap really are. Then we'll talk about a really powerful identity shift to becoming a sovereign advisor. After that, I'll give you a practical exit protocol. We'll reframe your goal as becoming a guardian of maturity, and we'll finish up with a simple sovereignty challenge you can start literally today. Okay, first things first, let's pull back the curtain and look at the invisible forces at play here. Because this isn't just about run-of-the-mill family drama. This is about deep psychological and even biological patterns that have laid this trap for you. So what is the generative glue trap exactly? Well, think of it as a system where your adult children are leaning on your special status, your sovereign neutrality, like a crutch. You're the common denominator, right? You love everyone involved, so you're not going to take sides. You're like the family's Switzerland. And that neutrality makes you the perfect, safe person to vent to. But here's the problem. They're using you to avoid growing up. Instead of learning the tough but essential skills of talking directly to each other and resolving conflict, they just lean on you to absorb all the tension. It's a shortcut for them, but it's one that's stopping them from maturing and stopping you from ever having any peace. And the main mechanism that makes this whole trap work is something called triangulation. It's so simple, but it is so destructive. Picture this. Your son and daughter have an issue. But instead of talking to each other, what do? They each call you to complain about the other one. See? The conflict that should be between them gets funneled entirely through you. You become the tip of the triangle. And while it feels like you're helping, you're actually making the problem permanent. They get to avoid the discomfort of a real conversation, and you get stuck holding all the emotional weight of their relationship on your shoulders. So you might be wondering, why me? Why does the system always seem to form around me? Well, it's not random. It's kind of a perfect storm of three key things. First, there's the Intergenerational Stake Hypothesis. Basically, you are biologically and emotionally wired to care more about family harmony. Your legacy, your grandkids, it's all tied to the next generation getting along. So your brain sees a fight as a real threat. Second, there's something called the positivity bias. Research shows that as we get older, our brains literally get better at de-escalating conflict. You can see the big picture. You are, scientifically speaking, the best diplomat in the family. And finally, there's the identity of the provider. For decades, you were the family's fixer, right? You fixed lunches, you fixed schedules, you fixed scraped knees. It's a tough habit to break, and it can feel like you're not doing your job if you don't step in. And the result of all these forces? Well, it's a double-edged sword. For you, it's something we call emotional labor overload. This is that invisible, unpaid, absolutely exhausting work of managing everyone else's feelings. It's a job with no office hours and no weekends off. And for your adult kids, it creates a cycle of functional dependency.
By constantly solving their problems, you're accidentally robbing them of the chance to build their own emotional muscles. They never learn how to have a hard conversation because you're always there to do it for them. You're all caught in a system that's keeping everyone stuck. Okay, we have diagnosed the problem. Now for the good part, the solution. And let me be clear, this is not about cutting people off or stopping to care. It's about making a fundamental, powerful, and totally necessary shift in your role. Look at the difference here. This really gets to the heart of it. On the left, you've got the active mediator, the emotional janitor. For this person, family peace feels like their personal job performance. If there's a fight, it feels like they've failed. Now, look at the right, the sovereign advisor, the master of context. In this role, your value isn't in what you do. It's in your wisdom, your presence. You understand that peace is a pure responsibility. It's their job as adults to manage their own relationships, not yours. Your role is to be the anchor, a source of stability, not the one in the engine room frantically trying to keep the ship from sinking. Okay, I want you to really let this next one sink in. This might be the single most important idea in this entire explainer. Every single time you step in, smooth things over, and fix a problem for your kids, you are stealing a valuable lesson from them. Conflict is life's classroom. It's where we learn resilience, empathy, negotiation. By taking that conflict away, you're stealing the curriculum. With the best intentions in the world, you're accidentally stunting their growth. Now, I know the biggest fear here. It's that if you step back, you'll seem cold or uncaring. But that's a total misunderstanding of what you're doing. The shift isn't an act of withdrawal. It's an act of deep wisdom and trust. It's about fostering maturity in the next generation. It's about having enough faith in the people you raise to let them handle their own lives. And, just as importantly, it's about protecting your own mental health, making sure your home is a sanctuary, not a courthouse. So we've covered the why. Now it's time for the how. This section is all about the practical, real-world tools you need to make this shift happen and start building some healthy boundaries. We call this the Shuttle Diplomacy Exit Protocol. And I want you to notice the phrasing here. These aren't rules. They're not weapons. They are identity defense systems. Their whole purpose is to defend your new identity as a sovereign advisor. They are calm, respectful ways to protect your energy. Think of them not as walls to keep people out, but as a gate to your own well-being, and you are the gatekeeper. All right, let's open up your new toolkit. Tool number 1, and honestly, this one is the game changer. The direct line standard. The second a complaint starts, you just calmly ask, have you told them this directly? That one question stops the whole pattern. Tool number 2 is empathy without action. You can listen, you can validate their feelings without taking responsibility to fix anything. A great phrase is, I hear how frustrating that must be, but I'm not going to get in the middle of it. This separates your love from your labor. Third, the narrative reframe. Instead of solving it, you tell them they can. Saying you are a capable adult, I trust you to handle this is an amazing gift of confidence. And finally, the sanctuary zone. You have every right to declare that your home and any event you host is a conflict-free zone, period. So let's put it all together. Let's imagine that phone call comes in. You have a new process now. Step 1, you ask about direct communication with the direct line standard. Have you talked to your brother about this? Step 2, if they push, you offer empathy, but you refuse to act. I get that this is tough, but it's not my place to intervene. Step 3, you empower them. I have complete faith that you two can sort this out. And step 4, you always protect your home as a sanctuary zone. It's a clear, repeatable process, and trust me, it gets easier every time you use it. Look, making this change can feel a little rocky at first. You might get some pushback. So this section is all about reminding you of the long-term wisdom here. Why this is better for everyone in the family, not just you. I really want you to hear this. Stepping back is not you being difficult. It's the exact opposite. It's a sign of your own health and wisdom. It shows that you're a true master of context. You have decades of experience with your family's dynamics. This new role lets you use that wisdom for guidance, not for frantic, constant repairs. You're shifting from being the repair person to being the architect, overseeing the big picture, but trusting the people inside to manage their own lives. At the end of the day, this is an act of faith. You raised strong, capable people. It's time to trust that strength. They can handle the heat of their own conflicts. They might stumble a bit at first, sure, because they're used to you being the safety net. But they will learn to fly, and your entire family system will become stronger and more honest because of it. Okay, we have covered a lot. We've gone from the problem to the philosophy to the practical tools. Now, let's bring it all home with one simple, concrete first step that you can take right now. If you forget everything else we've talked about, please remember this. True, lasting family peace is not a burden that one person can carry. It has to be a shared responsibility. Think about it. If you're the only thing holding everyone together, then they aren't actually together. They're just all holding on to you. Your job is to gently let go so they can finally learn to hold on to each other. So here it is, your challenge, and it's a simple one. For the next 24 hours, just focus on one tool, the direct line standard. The very next time a family member calls to vent about someone else, just wait for a pause and then calmly and kindly ask that one question. Have you told them this directly? And then, and this is the most important part, be quiet. Stay silent. Don't fill the space. Let the silence do the work. Let them have the realization about what the next adult step should be. Remember, your family's peace is not your job performance. Stepping back is a profound act of trust in the family you built. The best way to start is with that one simple question from the direct line standard. Just ask it and let them find their own way. Being the family's anchor, that stable, calm source of wisdom, is so much more powerful and so much more peaceful than being the fixer. So it's time. Audit the emotional labor you've been doing. Anchor a new boundary starting today, and lead the rest of your life with the sovereignty you have absolutely earned.